Hello guys, welcome to session 13 of our online classes. Today we're going to need our content areas, our students book, our workbook, the reading projects and the reading projects exercises. Today we have a very busy lesson, so let's start working. Let's start at this page. At this page the title is glaciers or glaciers. Both pronunciations are fine. Glaciers is more of a French thing, but it is also pronounced like that in the UK. Glaciers is a pronunciation that's more American, okay? So it says, can you answer any of these questions? What are glaciers or glaciers? Where do you find them? How are they made? What happens to them? Why are people worried about them? So it says texts A to E answer the questions in activity 1. Read and match the answers with the questions. Let's start by reading letter A. Glaciers often change size. If a glacier gets bigger, it is a healthy glacier. Many people these days are worried because glaciers are getting smaller much more quickly than they are growing. This is a sign that the temperature on Earth is rising. Letter B. You need very special conditions to make a glacier. You need a place that has very cold winters with lots of snowfall and very cool summers which won't melt the ice. All glaciers start life as snowflakes. These snowflakes fall in billions onto the cold ground where they don't melt. As more and more snow falls, the weight of the snow on top presses on the snow below and it turns into ice. The more snow falls, the deeper the ice gets. This sheet of ice gets so heavy that it starts to move. C. Glaciers are found all over the world in every continent. They cover about 10% of the surface of the world. There are two different types of glaciers. Valley glaciers are found in high mountains, and continental glaciers are found around the north and south poles. These glaciers are also called ice sheets. So we have the difference. A valley glacier, look, this is a mountain. And a continental glacier, can you see? A full continent with ice. D. Valley glaciers slide slowly down the mountain sides. When they get lower down, where the air is warmer, they start to melt and form rivers and streams. What are streams? Small rivers. Okay, in Spanish is riachuelos. Continental glaciers spread out until they reach the sea. The edges of the glaciers break off in huge bits. These bits are called icebergs, and they float about in the sea. When they reach warmer waters, they slowly start to melt. Now, letter E. Glaciers are rivers of ice. These rivers can be more than 1 kilometer deep. Because the ice is so heavy, the glacier moves. It moves really slowly at a speed of about 1 meter every day. So it could take them nearly 3 years to travel 1 kilometer. Glaciers are big. The smaller ones are about the size of a football pitch, and the longest are more than 160 kilometers. So now, these parts that I've just read make the answers to these questions. You have to write the correct letter in front of each question. We're going to check later in our Zoom class. On the second part says, listen and correct the mistake in each sentence. Okay? So, read and complete the smart facts with the words from the box. Okay? So, It says melt above ship, cities and water. First, let's listen to the mistake.
Student's Book, page 103. 1. Listen and correct the mistake in each sentence.
1.
Glaciers move about 10 meters every week.
2.
Valley glaciers become icebergs.
3.
Valley glaciers are found around the poles.
4.
Glaciers are made of frozen river water.
5.
Glaciers are getting larger.
Okay, I want you to play the audio again and write the sentences down in your content areas notebook. And I want you to correct the mistakes. We're going to check it later on in our class, okay? So make sure you write the 5 sentences and you write the corrections. Now, let's check this exercise. This exercise also has to do with glaciers or glaciers, yes? So, let's check it. Or our answers should look something like this. Smart facts. You can only see a tiny bit of an iceberg above the water. Most of it is hidden under the water. In 1912, a famous ship, the Titanic, hit an iceberg and sank. 1,503 people drowned. About 70% of all the world's fresh water is in glaciers. If all glaciers melt, the seas will rise about 70 meters. This will cover many cities around the world. That's why they say that if the poles melt, the level of the oceans will rise and it will drown whole cities. Now, we have a project, but it's a very simple project that it has to be done actually here in the student's book. It says, find out how much of our planet is covered by glaciers. It says, look at this map. The blue areas show how much of Earth was covered by glaciers 20,000 years ago during the last ice age. What percentage was this? Find out where there are glaciers or glaciers today. Draw and color blue areas on the map below. So the only thing that you have to do is research online, look it up and see what's the real area of these spaces that are in blue here. And now, just to compare how global warming has been affecting the temperature of our planet. Now let's continue working with our workbook. In here we have to read the text again and find the correct names of all of these, yes? And then with the text we have to complete with words that were there and match the sentence halves, okay? We're going to check that also later on in our class. Here, let's see. We have an example, number 1, a continental glacier. Something glacier or glacier. This is number 4 and this is number 5. I guess these are quite easy. Now it says, glaciers are rivers of ice which can be very deep. Glaciers, which you find in this space, are called valley glaciers. The glaciers at the north and south poles are called or ice, so that means that they have 2 names. About what of the surface of the world is covered by ice? When the ice of a glacier becomes thick and heavy, the glacier starts to. Continental glaciers become bigger and bigger until they reach the sea. Then, big blocks of ice break off edges. These blocks of ice are called And matching, you can find glaciers on every continent. All of these is in the text, all of it. And I'm quite sure that you can find it easily. Please do the complete page. We're going to check it today in our video. Okay, now let's go to the next page. We're going to read about another glacier. And this one is quite famous, actually the most famous one in the continent. It says the region of Patagonia is at the cold southern tip of the continent of South America. Most of the glaciers in South America are melting very quickly as a result of global climate change. And many people are worried about this. However, there is one glacier in the south of Argentina that is not melting at all. It's called Perito Moreno. Scientific experts have said that the ice mass of the glacier has become bigger. This is because of the cold Patagonian wind, which stops the glacier from melting in the summer. So, we have answers here, but we don't have questions. So, here it is. It's at the southern tip of South America. So, the question, if it says southern tip, it's where is Patagonia? Okay? So, number 2, because the world climate is changing, Perito Moreno is in the south of Argentina. They have said that it has become bigger, pay attention, the cold wind in Patagonia. Please pause the video and do it. These should be our answers. So let's pay attention. The first one we have already checked it because it was the example and it's where is Patagonia. Now, because the world climate is changing. So it is why and most of the glaciers in South America melting very quickly. 3. Where is Perito Moreno? Perito Moreno is in the south of Argentina. What have scientific experts are they, said about the ice mass of the glacier? Why this? Because it's have and said. So we have and said here. 5. What stops the glacier from melting in the summer? The cold wind in Patagonia. So make sure that you write the corrections in case you have any mistakes, right? So let's move on to the next part. It says, read Pedro's text. Underline the information in different colors. Okay, so let's do the color thing. Where does Pedro live? Red. And what are the two names of the mountain in blue? How high is the mountain in green? And why is it very interesting? And that should be in orange. Okay, so let's have an orange here. Well, it looks very similar to the red one, but well, you know it's orange, right? Let's start with the red one. It says, I live in Mexico City. Mexico has got a lot of mountains. One of them is called Orizaba. This is an Aztec name. It means Star Mountain. Orizaba is more than 5,600 meters high, and it is 190 kilometers east of my city. It is a very interesting mountain because it has got a glacier on top, but it is also a dormant volcano. One day I hope I can climb Orizaba. By Pedro Gutierrez. Okay? Maybe you don't know that, but El Pico de Orizaba also has a Nahuatl name. It's called Citlaltépetl, which means a star mountain. Precisely. Citlal, which is a star, and Tepetl, which means mountain. That's why Popocatépetl ends in Tepetl too. And that's why the people who are called Citlali, well, their name is a star, but in Nahuatl. Let's start with this. Where does Pedro live? Well, I live in Mexico City. That's quite easy, right? What are the two names of the mountain? Orizaba, and also the Aztec name, which is a star mountain, which I told you that it's Citlaltépetl. Now the green one. How high is the mountain? It's this one, right? It's too easy. And why is it very interesting? It is a very interesting mountain because it has got a glacier on top. But it is also a dormant volcano. Yes? So, now it says research and write about another mountain. This thing over here, we're going to do it in the blog of the Superminds platform, okay? Now, it's time for our reading project. Let's open our reading project in the title Mighty Glaciers, okay? This one is obviously according to the text that we have just read. On the page 1 it says, glaciers are like massive rivers of ice. Look at it, it's quite evident that it's like a river, right? Introduction. The Earth's surface constantly changes. Wind, water, and heat wear down mountains and crack stone. What is wear down? Wear down is to slowly destroy. But some of the most dramatic changes are caused by giant pieces of ice and rock called glaciers and glaciers. These books are American, that's why they say glaciers. But remember, for British, as you heard in the listening of the book, is glaciers, okay? Glaciers move slowly over the land. They carve out cliffs, valleys, and prairies as they go. When glaciers melt, they leave behind lakes, rivers, and hills of soil and boulders, okay? I guess it's a good opportunity to check these words. Carve out, we have prairies, we have also boulders, and here it says that we have to check these. Okay, what is carve out? To create, to make by almost scratching. Prairies are praderas, and boulders are geographical features. Next, types of glaciers. Two common types of glaciers are continental glaciers and valley glaciers. Continental glaciers form at the north and south poles of the Earth. These huge sheets of ice cover vast stretches of land. Continental glaciers can be so thick that only the tops of mountains stick out above them. Much of Greenland and Antarctica are buried beneath continental glaciers. Look at it. Can you see? It is in Antarctica, but we can see that there is a mountain, and this is another mountain. So imagine how tall and how thick the ice is to cover a mountain. Now it says valley glaciers form on high mountains that rise above the snow line. Above the snow line, snow covers the ground all year. Even in the tropics, valley glaciers can form on the tallest peaks. Like rivers of ice, valley glaciers move through long, narrow valleys. So here we have a river of ice. It's called Pasterze Glacier in Austria, and it's a valley glacier. Can you see? It makes a valley because the ice goes like a river. Glaciers form on high mountains where the snow does not melt. Yes, can you see? How do glaciers grow? In some places, the temperature stays below freezing for most of the year. Snow piles up much faster than it melts. Each new layer of snow presses down on the snow beneath it. The lower layers of snow become squashed or compressed. The compressed snowflakes become ice crystals called firn. The firn crystals squash together as more and more snow presses down on them. Eventually, the firn turns into a huge slab of ice known as a glacier. So, pay attention, we have snow, but then we have more snow, and then more snow, and snow, and snow, so it is so heavy. So when you push and push and push the snow down, it becomes from snow into firn. Firn is more like crystals. And finally, When they receive more snow, they become solid ice. The snow piles up and squashes the snow underneath it, eventually turning it into ice. Here we have this Alaskan glacier flows downhill. Can you see it's going down slowly because it's ice water? How do glaciers move? All glaciers move. Glaciers begin to move when they reach about 30 meters or 100 feet thick. What is thick? The ancho or the grueso. That's about as high as a 12-story building. So imagine the ice is as tall as a building of 12 stories. Imagine all of that moving. Oh, that was a thunder. Well, the glaciers become so heavy that gravity pulls them downhill. Gravity is a force that pulls things toward the center of the earth. It makes objects fall and roll down slopes. What are slopes? Pendientes o cuestas. The movement of a glacier is called flow. Well, they have flow. The heavy ice at the top of a glacier compresses the ice below it. Even above the snow line, ice melts when it is tightly compressed. The melted ice becomes slippery. What's slippery? Resbaloso, allowing the glacier to slide. Sometimes the top layers of the ice move faster than the bottom layers. The ice cracks. A crack in a glacier is called a crevasse, and it can be hundreds of meters deep. Look at that. That is a crevasse. What is a crevasse? Like a hole in the middle. It's a crack in the glacier. And we have a hiker. Curious, do you remember we saw the word hiker recently? So again, hiking is walking on territory that is not easy to walk. Clearly, a glacier is not easy to walk on. Now we have how they flow. Continental glaciers flow towards the coasts. Look, they go into the ocean, and this is an iceberg. Yes, these become ice flows. But valley glaciers flow downhill. They become like a soft river of ice. Continental glaciers form in the middle of continents. They flow toward the coasts. Valley glaciers flow down mountains. A fast glacier can flow 20 meters of 20 feet in one day. But that is very unusual. Most glaciers travel only a few centimeters, less than 1 inch, to 30 centimeters or 1 foot in a day. Glaciers carve deep scars in these rocks in Ohio. Pay attention, these are rocks. But the glaciers, as they walk by and down, they make rivers. And finally, the rocks are deformed into the ice's shape. It says change in the earth, like giant bulldozers. What are bulldozers? These machines that are used in construction and that they help carve the stone. So it says, push piles of rocks and soil as they slide forward. These piles are called moraines. Some of the rocks and soil get stuck in the ice. The rocks scrape the land beneath the glacier, leaving huge scars. These are scars of ice. What are scars? They are, oh my god, I forgot the words in Spanish of scar. Cicatriz, yes. Cicatrices, yes, so they make like these things, like if it was a grout, como una gruta. Some glaciers scrape off entire mountainsides. Valley glaciers carve deep U-shaped valleys with steep cliffs. When a glacier flows below the snowline, the bottom melts, forming a river. Some glaciers carve valleys that reach all the way to the sea. Seawater fills these valleys, creating fjords. Continental glaciers flatten the land. Look at that. This is what they call fjords. Fjords, let's imagine that it was something like this. It was like a mountain, But thanks to the glacier, it was breaking down, and it created a mountain and a steep part where there didn't used to be one. Icebergs break off a glacier and fall into the sea. Yes, remember these are the continental one. When they break, they form icebergs. As glaciers reach the ocean, they crumble and slide into the water. Sometimes big chunks of ice fall into the sea. The broken off pieces are called icebergs. Some icebergs in the Antarctic Ocean are nearly 80 kilometers long or 50 miles long. So imagine you have 80 kilometers under the ocean. So it's almost like a huge island of ice going in the middle of the ocean. When glaciers melt, some glaciers melt or recede and eventually disappear. Glaciers recede when the water gets warmer or less snow falls. Receding glaciers leave the moraines behind as long ridges of rocks and soil. This soil is called till. It can be good for growing food. Glaciers may also drop huge boulders when they melt. Sometimes glaciers create lakes and ponds when the ice melts on the land. So pay attention, it says these big boulders were left by glaciers. Can you see? They are like stones, okay? So imagine having ice. You obviously know that ice is water. So imagine how rich the soil, el suelo, the soil is after that. That means that it's good for planting. Yes? So glaciers are also part of the equilibrium of an ecosystem. Now our conclusion. This glacier has receded, leaving its moraine. Look at that. It's almost non-existent. It has melted. Now the soil is so wet. Glaciers are one of many things that give the Earth its beautiful and interesting shapes. In the past 100 years, many glaciers have receded. The Earth's temperature may be getting warmer. Scientists are watching glaciers to see how they are affected by temperature changes. They can learn a lot about our planet from these enormous rivers of ice. This is precisely why you are going to do the project and investigate what percentage of our Earth is still a glacier and how much of it has melted ever since the Ice Age. Last but not least, remember that we have some exercises to do of the reading projects. Please do them because we are also going to check them today in our class. So make sure you have all of them and I'll see you in a minute, okay? Bye!